Hi, welcome to Farm Talk Friday. I'm Ken Jordan. This is my beautiful wife, Jivana.
Hi, baby.
And we're not at home.
No.
We're not at the Greenwave house. We're down in the Osa Peninsula in Puerto Jimenez. We're at this beautiful resort called Botanika with a K, Botanika. Anyway, we are here for a party for conservationists. We're going to be hosting, and I'll be performing on the Modoc. The Modoc is the ship of the Earthrace.
Which is Captain Pete Bethune's. Oh, is this on mine? I meant to put it on Greenwave House.
That's okay.
Oh, well.
So anyway, there's going to be a part, not tonight.
No, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. And it's not only for the crew of the Modoc. It's for a large group of conservationists that are working hard down here in the Osa area, and they're going to get rewarded tomorrow night with a party. So we're looking forward to that.
And who else is DJing with you?
Simon Makara, Solar Simon. Looking forward to seeing him tomorrow, and it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, and Simon is also one of our activist friends, and he has the Jaguar Project and works with Grow Jungles. And did you have something to say? Just that, yeah. But it's exciting. It's exciting hanging out with like cool friends that care and put a lot of effort towards conservation of the very small percentage of biomass we have available in this world. Do you remember that from Pete's talk?
Yes.
Okay, so Pete, when we hosted him last week in Delicias at Pugo's, he had somebody email him a few years into his marine conservationism, and they said biomass, and he looked into it, and he thought for sure that, I think he either thought it was inverse or it was going to be like at least 50-50, that humans and wildlife would be 50-50, or that like wildlife was 95% and we were like a small part. And what he found, according to Pete and the research, I trust Pete. I haven't double checked this information yet, but he said that humans and like their 12 domesticated animals are 97% of the biomass, and it's only 3% going to wildlife. So if you care about that, maybe you can get involved too in conservation work.
We're counting on you.
This is fun. Yeah, we're counting on you. Oh shoot, my notes went. So in this week's advert, we showed Ken on our yin yang garden, and Ken, you had a big hat on.
Well, the sun's come back out. We're coming out of rainy season, and the sun is pretty bright.
It is pretty bright, yes. And so Ken was borrowing this hat that we got like many years ago while we were in Mexico. It's like this giant sombrero. And, like Ken has a slightly larger head than I do, and like not like by a lot, but like a little bit. And here he was complaining. He's like, this hat is so big. Like, who does this hat fit? I'm like, well, I wear it all the time.
Yeah, it goes over my ears all the way.
Yeah, it's, it blocks the sun. So I have these little notes.
Yeah.
I thought we would start off today. This won't be too long, but it got too big. It blew up too big. So we have not really been educating all of you about like what permaculture is. So why not start off with permaculture principle number 1? Do you remember what it is? It's okay, because it's on the Permaculture Pinup website, which is permaculturepinup.org. You could go there. But the principle number 1 is observe and interact.
All right.
Woo! So Ken did take a permaculture design course a couple years ago, but, we get rusty.
Yeah.
So anyway, so if you're just starting out, what you want to do ideally is whatever, if it's a small 3x3 section of backyard that you have, or whether you have like a large piece of land, you would want to observe that piece for as long as you can before you develop it with the other ideas behind permaculture. And so that would like lead into these observations that I had this week, which is really like my continued realization that I think ants and spiders rule the world. And you're not laughing or anything.
I know. Yeah, observe and interact. That's really what you're supposed to be doing there. You're supposed to be seeing where the sun is, where it goes, where the shade is, where water goes, where water falls, what direction the wind goes. You want to observe all that stuff before you can start planting anything. It's really important stuff.
There's that permaculture design class coming out. So anyway, I mean, it's a little bit of a leap for me to tell you these stories and say that it directly relates to permaculture principle number 1. But this week, I saw in the Yoni garden that we have, the golden orb spiders are back, and they're giant. They're like the size of a hand, and they're really beautiful. And I've never had one on my face, and I'm not hoping to have one on my face ever. But it was like right in the middle of the Yoni garden, and I saw it do the coolest thing. It did like gymnastics. It like a monkey. It like turned itself upside down and went down super fast and then came back up, and I was mystified. And I just realized how many spiders there were. Like in that area, there was all these different kinds of spiders. And I have to say that if you want to get into gardening of any sort, like you really need to come to terms with the insects of this world and spiders. So I've done a lot of work, and I'm really proud, and I'm glad that I have, because they're everywhere. And then I also saw Morse Code in the sun, pearls that are on like morning dew on our trees. That was really pretty. And
What do you mean you saw Morse code?
well, the sun seemed to be sending me Morse code signals, and I don't know Morse code, so I don't know what the message was exactly, but I thought I would report that I was receiving a message, and I appreciated it because it was very pretty. Yeah, here comes an airplane. Did we say that we're at Botanika?
Yes.
Okay. It's also very pretty here. So anyway, last reports, Ken asked me a few days ago, like, hey, do you know what's growing in bed whatever? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, do you know what it is? Did I tell you?
It was bed 8. Is it some kind of lettuce?
No.
What is it?
It's tobacco.
Oh, great. What are we going to do with it?
Well, I want it to grow large enough, and then we can transfer it, because it shouldn't be growing in one of our edible beds. So we had one of our neighbors, Rancho Delicioso, she gave me some seeds, and the tobacco is wild, so it shouldn't necessarily be put into beds that we're supposed to be growing food in. But somehow they ended up there, and they're doing well, but they are too small to transfer. So as soon as they're more of like a little shrub, they should grow pretty quickly, then I can plant them. And tobacco is great for, rituals, and so I will have use for it.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about that. And then the last report that I have is I'm just kind of in the middle of helping the school get some soil and some compost for a new project that they're doing next week. So the compost has been delivered. I got the message today.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay.
We'll be back. Well, yeah. We'll be back home next week.
Yeah.
I think so. So, we'll see you next week on Farm Talk Friday. Have a great weekend.
Okay. Ciao.